Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Michael Blaustein, product manager at Learning Resources, and as he likes to put it, proud dad of Botley and Botley 2.0. Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for joining us at the Holiday of Play.
Tell us about Botley.
So Botley the coding robot is our coding robot for kids as young as 5 to learn the fundamentals of coding. And when we talk about coding for kindergarten, because we're really 5+ kindergarten, we mean things like sequential logic, problem solving, critical thinking. We consider them the building blocks of coding, sort of the foundational skills. So when kids play with Botley, we don't expect them to immediately run to a computer and start writing code, but we are giving them the kind of the frame, the foundation of understanding the logic of coding, what it means to build a code sequence to get a robot to do something. What are loops and how can you embed them in a code sequence to make your code more efficient? What is if-then logic, etc.? How do you debug the code? And we provide that all with Botley 2.0.
So they're learning this without realizing they're learning, essentially.
That's exactly right. And we do it in a really fun, engaging way. And as you can see from my desktop here, there's no phones or tablets or screens of any kind because Botley is 100% screen-free. I know my own kids are spending an awful lot of time on screens lately, all day, in fact. And we just want to give them a break and give them, a toy that they can engage with and actually learn something, but not still be, tied to a screen. So Botley is ready to go right out of the box to begin coding. All the coding is done on this remote programmer and Botley, the coding robot. And if you can see here, you'll see a number of buttons with arrow commands on them. Every button press on here is a step in the code sequence that you're going to build. So I'm going to do a very simple 4-step code sequence. Let me turn Botley on to get Botley to go from this blue board that it's on to the orange board and then turn around and come back. So simple code sequence, forward, turn right twice because I wanted to turn around, and then another forward. You should end up right back where you started. I just transmit the code. Botley executes the code. I'm very good at this, so I know exactly what I'm doing. But super simple. That was a 4-step code sequence. You can actually do code sequences up to 150 steps using things like the loops that I mentioned, 90-degree and 45-degree turns. And something really cool that I'll show you, I mentioned if-then logic. Botley is a smart robot. Botley has a couple of sensors that are really key to Botley understanding its world around it. So I'm going to code Botley to go forward a number of times, let's say 6 times. 6. But I'll say, Botley, if you see something in front of you, activate the sensor. I want you to turn around and come back. So I'll just do 2 left turns. Now I'm going to transmit this code to Botley, but I'm just going to put this little object in front of it. It could be any object. Transmit the code. Botley sees it and turns around because he understands his environment around it. So now I've taught if-then logic. Botley, if you see something, then do this.
Very cool. So what's the story behind it, Michael? How did this come about?
The invention of Botley?
Yeah.
Well, we noticed that more and more in the UK and in the US, coding was being taught in the schools at a younger and younger age, and we really wanted to make something that kids could play with in schools and play with at home that was screen-free, simple, and make an entertaining, engaging toy that, Botley essentially could be your robot friend as well. We call it, your first coding friend. So the genesis really was, let's do something that is affordable, ready to go right out of the box, teaches these fun foundational skills of coding, but in a friendly, not challenging way.
Not
Very-
intimidating in any way.
Yeah, not
So
intimidating. Thank you.
tell us about pricing and availability.
Right. So the original Botley came out in 2019. This is Botley 2.0. Original Botley won a Toy of the Year award at the International Toy Fair in New York in 2019. Follow-up Botley 2.0 came out this spring. It's available everywhere right now. Basic set starts at $64.99. Larger set, $84.99, and that includes a bunch of pieces to make obstacle courses, some cool boards with black lines embedded in them so Botley can follow it around. Didn't even get to some of the other stuff jam-packed in there. Secret codes to transform Botley into a robot, a dinosaur or a frog or a police car or a ghost for Halloween. It's wonderful. And some engaging interactive games that Botley can play too.
And again, the age range that this is intended for?
Yeah, 5+. So kindergarten, generally to 6, 7, 8 years old. Botley's a super fun robot, and we think some of the advanced coding features help Botley grow with your child as they get more comfortable learning the different coding activities.
And where can people go for more info?
Learningresources.com. We've got tons of videos available, plenty of info, downloadable activities for Botley once you bring it home.
Again, that's learningresources.com. Michael Blaustein and Botley, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio, and that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.